Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to show you guys how to draw the Torvosaurus. And by the way, maybe you can already hear it, but I am recording with a different camera right now, and that's because I have a new phone, and I think that I might be able to record for longer than 33 minutes right now. So I'll just have to experiment with that a little bit. And yeah, I think maybe the quality of the video will be a little bit better. I'm not sure. It has the same kind of resolution, um, but we will just have to see, I guess. So this video was actually requested by, I believe it was Dinos All Day. I just have to check it real quick. Um, yeah, Dinos All Day. So it was requested by Dinos All Day, and so yeah, let's get into the actual video. Okay, so like usually, we're gonna start with drawing his hip, which would be about in the middle of the paper. So we're gonna start drawing it. And let's see how high compared to the camera I have to start. All right, so we're gonna start in the middle. Just a second, I'm really sorry. Yeah. Okay, so again, we're gonna start in the middle, draw in his hip bone, like shaped like this, and then go to the back area. He is kind of angled up a little bit, so his back area, and then his rib cage would go kind of like this. He is a very long dinosaur because he has a very long torso, a very long tail, so we do have to pay attention to that feature. So for his tail, we're just gonna draw it like this, and then it kind of angles down again, a little bit again over there, and we're gonna make it in a running pose. So this would be his femur, I guess, and here would be his knee, and then we have this bone over there like this, and then his other leg goes kind of like this. And make sure that these bones are just the same, about the same length. Just something like that should be fine for now. So now we want to draw in the muscles for his legs, and the indication of where the muscle, the knee would be, about over there, and then a big muscle over there, and then we have a toe that kind of goes like this, and a toe goes a little bit angled more towards us. Something like this should be fine. Okay, and then this muscle over there. So there we have the basic setup of one leg done, and also we of course need to pay attention to this area over here, because there are some bones coming from over here, kind of going like this. Into his tail, finish his tail off a little bit. Okay. And then for this foot, well, this would be this area over here. So we will just draw it like this: 1, 2, and a nail on the end, and then a couple of paddings, and then again 1, 2, and a nail on the end. Well, actually a claw. It's a claw. And then a circle shaped like that over there. And then this goes like that. So that's for his other foot, which is a little bit behind the rest of his body. So now we are going to go to his shoulder area. So this would be his shoulder blade, and then his hand would kind of be attached to this, I mean his arm, and then draw a circle over there for the joints where they kind of attach to each other. And we're gonna do the same as over here. We're just gonna, well, let's first draw in the muscle. So a muscle over there, kind of the direction of the curve of the line changes sometimes. Pay attention to what I'm doing right now. And then this kind of goes like this, and this goes like this. And we do have a circle over there for his wrist, and then kind of draw in the little fingers, and then one more over here on this side. Okay, so that should be fine for this hand, and this one kind of does the same, but it is a little bit angled differently because it's attached more about over there, because he is kind of leaning his body into trying to get his leg over there. So this is kind of going more like this, and here would be his wrist. And we're gonna start with drawing the palm area, and then just kind of try and get these headings right. And one more over here. So something like this. Not gonna put too much detail in it. Just gonna try and keep it like this. And now we can go over to his neck area. He has a very long neck, I must say. Kind of like this, and then his head would be attached over here. And the neck muscles kind of go a bit like this. And on his throat as well. Something like this, and then his lower jaw would be kind of like that. And I'm gonna draw his lower jaw a little bit more open than on the reference. Let's get this a little bit clearer and not as messy. Okay. And so now you want to start drawing his upper jaw, but this is going to be a very difficult part because he has a very distinct look about his jaw, kind of. very strange compared to a lot of other dinosaurs. So it's gonna be hard to get it accurate. And I'm afraid that I'll have to erase it already because I made it a little bit too large and it wasn't correct the way it was supposed to be. I'm just gonna draw it like a normal T-Rex jaw. Well, not T-Rex, but normal meat-eating dinosaur jaw. And then I'm gonna kind of try and adjust it. So now and then. So over here would be his eye circuit. And then this kind of strange ridge over there. And then we have a bony part over here as well. And then we could just make this almost straight. It's really hard to get the shapes right, so I am afraid that I'm not gonna get it completely accurate, but I will try to do my best and get it as accurate as I can. And then his lower jaw kind of goes like this. And the shape of his lower jaw as well is very strange. You don't really see a lot of dinosaurs with this strange looking skulls. And yeah, I made it a little bit too big again, so I will have to make it a little bit smaller. And I think, yes, I did. I made it exactly the same length again. Okay, this is a little bit better. I'm sorry for the fact that I'm not talking a lot. Well, let's just make his jaw closed because I can't really get it right. I'm really sorry for this, but I can't get it right. So I'm just gonna make his jaw closed. Like I said, he has a very strange looking appearance. His appearance truly is very strange. I'm gonna redo his head because if I'm making his head closed, I mean his mouth closed, that means that his snout will be a little bit more angled downwards, like this. And it should be a little bit longer. So I don't really have a good reference for his head because I didn't really expect this to be so hard to get the shapes of his head right. But I think I am going to try and get a reference, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and I think that I can get it right. Because I have a picture of a skull of the Torvosaurus. He has a very elongated head, I must say. So what we're gonna start with, we're just gonna start with a line like this, and then a line like this. This would be the back of his upper jaw, and then this part just goes like this, and that would be the basic shape, I guess, of his head. Kind of has a curve that goes from here, and then this part goes like this. And right now it might look a little bit strange and a little bit off, but I am sure that eventually, when I get everything right, it will look a lot more accurate than you would expect from this point. So I am going to make his lower jaw opened. And it might make it a little bit longer. Like this. Okay, and like I said, it might look a little bit strange for now, but I think that it will eventually turn out pretty good. Okay, so now we still have this membrane area over here, and maybe a tongue that kind of goes like this. And now we want to have his eye ridges a little bit better. And there's an area over here that goes back a little bit. And then his nose, his nostril would be over here. This area would be a little bit longer. Let's see. Yeah, so this should be alright. Now we have a area for his eye over here. And a hole in his skull over there, but we can't really see too much of that. And this indentation over here as well. This actually goes straight, which I didn't really notice back then. And then we have this area over here, an indentation, and his nostril would be about over there. Okay, so now I still have to go back and kind of get his neck kind of properly in. His neck might look a little bit too short, but I'm just gonna keep it like this. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and see how long my camera can record for. So I'm just gonna skip to the part where I made everything a little bit darker, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I darkened about everything right now. So I will warn you that this is not one of the most accurate drawings that I've done, because I really dislike the hat. Normally my dinosaur hats are a little bit more accurate than this one, so I do have to apologize for that fact. Alright, and now the teeth on his bottom jaw. Kind of stops about over there. So now we want to get his eye into place, and I want to make his eye round, and I want to keep it as light as I can, kind of. And then I want to get a little bit of detail around his eye and make this area a lot darker than what it is right now. And also over here. And maybe get a little bit more of a bony look on top of his head over there. Maybe a couple of scales that go kind of like this, and a couple of lines coming from his teeth, kind of going over there a little bit. Maybe a couple of scales around his nose. And then over here would be a bit of shadow. I'm gonna make a lot of rimples in his neck. And this area as well, we want to get the right kind of shadow and stuff in it, the right kind of texture. A muscle over there, a jaw muscle, supposed to be a very strong one, so we're gonna try to draw it that way. Okay, we're gonna make a couple of veins going like this. So how long? And I'm recording for 24 minutes now, which is fine, I guess. I'm just testing out for how long my camera can record. So again, this is not one of my most accurate Torvosaurus drawings, but I'm gonna try to kind of make the detail on such a way that it still kind of looks good. So what I like about this drawing is the proportions and stuff, and the hands, the way I drew in his hands. I really like that aspect. We're gonna try to get the same idea of the T-Rex in. So again, a lot of shadow on this area. And then these lines kind of change angle. Yeah, more angled, a little bit more like this. And then they kind of go with the flow of the dinosaur. In this area is supposed to be his belly, so make sure he has a kind of a full belly, and maybe a line like this and a line like this. Kind of get a couple of these lines in. I'm not really paying attention to where I'm gonna put the details. I'm just trying to find out where the muscles kind of go. Trying to get a cool effect without doing too much of detail. Well, it is a little bit of detail, but it's a little bit more messy the way that I'm doing it right now. Alright, so for his hands you just put a lot of dark scales on top of them, on his fingers, that's what I meant. And then just make these dark scales kind of go up a little bit. And maybe a couple of ribs. That we can kind of see. We do need a little bit more shadow at this area over here. And also at the back of his neck. So I'm just making some areas darker and darker when I go along them. It's not that it has to be so dark like this, but well, I'm trying to get a good dark drawing, so it's better to see for people watching this video, and that's why I'm trying to go over it and over it until I get the right kind of tone that I think that I'm gonna need in my drawing. So at this area there would be a bit of shadow. Okay, and then let's see. So yeah, the really dark areas are behind his, well, on that side, because I want the sun to be kind of coming from over here. I mean the light source, and it goes down like this. Okay, So now let's get the claws in on his feet and get those scales on the top of his toes. Kind of make them look cool. Over here as well, a couple of them. That's just the most amount of detail that I'm gonna put on this drawing, I guess. So, well, let's first get into his leg. He has a, well, let's see, there's a little bit of shadow over here, just a tiny bit, and then he has a huge muscle kind of over here. So this area would be very, very dark, and then another muscle over there. And a lot of wrinkles kind of coming from his leg area. And actually going to his tail area as well. And then we have a couple of veins and stuff and lines that kind of go in a different direction, but that's not as important for right now. But this area is. We do want to keep this highlight over there. And then there is a muscle that goes, this one actually. Just gonna draw it in like this because there's a little bit of shadow at that area. And of course there would be a lot of shadow over here as well, but I do want to keep that highlight over there. And then there's a kind of an indentation over here, so that's not really important. Put that down too dark. There will be a thing like that, and then something like this. And then for his hip we just have those wrinkles and stuff going like this all around his leg. So that's what we're gonna try and fade it in with to fit in this drawing. Alright, so top area of his tail will be a lot lighter than the bottom area of his tail. But this area will be having a lot of shadow in it. And then just something like that. And we do want to leave this highlight over there. So now for this area, we just have to kind of get the right amount of shadow and don't overdo it too much. Alright, And then I would say that we are about done, and we are over 33 minutes. So I'm quite happy with the way that it turned out. It's not too bad. I mean, it does look kind of cool in my opinion. And yeah, like I said, I really like the proportions and stuff. So we still need my autograph, which is something that I tend to forget in my last few videos. Okay, so normally I would clean it up a little bit more and yeah, so that it would look a little bit cleaner, but I think that it looks pretty okay for now. So yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment below what you think about the video and the drawing in general, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell below so you won't miss a single video. So this was Dinosaur Drawer, and goodbye.